Welcome back to the Count's Gala. My name is Ken. I'm the author of the book, which is available on Amazon.com right now. Today we're going to look at Cryptogram number 7, which is going to give us some fun clues, so I'm a little bit excited about it. Last time we looked at number 6, which told us about the buyers. So just a recap, so the Count suspects that there is a stolen painting at his gala tonight, and there are going to be some sellers who are wearing crazy outfits and some buyers which are wearing more of a black tie and gown type deals. So the way to identify the buyers rather, is through their distinctive features. So in this one we're going to find out about one of the names of the buyers and then one of the distinctive features. So let's get started. I've been starting with the word "the," but I want to kind of approach it a little bit differently on this one to give you a couple different ways to go about this. But the way that we're going to try this, we're going to be right back to the word "the" on this pretty quick. So, but another way to go about this is with these apostrophes. So if you see an apostrophe, there's really only a few letters that can be. So it can be an S, it can be a D maybe, or a T. But in this case, let's test out the letter T. So we have a T here, and if we look at some of the other smaller words, T actually fits really well, whereas an S doesn't. So like an S here would be kind of weird. Or there are a few words with, I guess S actually would work fairly well. But in this case I'm going to go with the T. So again, because we have a few of these 3-letter words start with a T and repeat throughout, and that's going to be the. So T-H-E, and then T-H-E. What else do we have? I don't know if we have a ton of these in there, but we do have the 2-letter words, so T and O, that start with the T. And that is something that I've pointed out, I think, in every puzzle so far. So you're going to see quite a few things repeated over and over. I'm just going to fill in my grid below, if you've been watching, which there are very few of you so far, but that's all right. There is a grid at the bottom where I encourage you to keep track of the letters throughout the book, and that will make solving the entire thing a little bit easier. So. Okay, so I'm going to go through with, let's start with the H's today. So letter N is going to be an H. Here is an H. And here's another H. This will actually be a good change up, because I think we can figure out some of these H words. So I told you that we were talking about people. So N, we get a few here, and there are a few words, and actually we're going to find this pretty quick here, because we have the E as well. So let me just finish these N's, and I think I got most of them. There's a few here. So this word starts with H, it's only 2 letters, and we already have the L, which is an E, so he. But we also have this 3-letter word that starts with H, and we're already talking about a he, and I think another pronoun that we can use is his, so H-I-S, so P is going to be an I, and Z is going to be an S. And let's see. Let's fill in some of these. So we'll go with the Z's as an S. Z, more Z's. I would expect there to be more S's. There's one. And now they're coming. S. And a few more. Okay, so those are the S's. Let's go with the E's, which are the letter L. There's an E. So again, if you're having trouble getting started on any of these, if you can't find any of these, the letter E is a good place to check. So if you're counting the characters of these, that's one way you could go about this. What are we looking for? L's are going to be... So the letter E is the most common letter in the English language. So it tends to show up more often than any of the other letters. So every once in a while you'll have one where there are more T's or more R's, but E is pretty common. E. All right, those are most of the E's, and let's go with the T's. So the Q's are going to be T's. T. And none of the words are really jumping out at me yet. But I think as we fill these in, we're going to... Okay, these two jumped out. Oh, but we already have the I. So Q. And that's an O. We're going for Q's. T. So again, these short words are ones to look out for. There's another place that you can get started if you're wondering. Q's. And with that, I think we're going to have a few that jump out here. So the first one that jumps out, so O, other. So this E is going to be an R, just filling that in on the grid below. And then the other one is this one here. So TE, a double letter. That has got to be L. So tell. V's are going to be L's. Okay, and then let's fill in some O's. If that's a T, that's going to be an N, and that has to be a D. Don't. So the Y is a D, and the C is an N. Don't. We don't have the T or the D. We'll come back to that. B. We don't have that. T. Okay, we may not be ready for these yet. O. Do we have the C? We do. T we don't have. V is an L. G. No. W we do have. It's an O. C is an N. And Y is a D. Okay, so we're going to have to come back to these three words. We still don't have the T. That is showing up quite a bit though. B, W, we do have the W. We don't have an I yet. Let's see. D, I, S, T. Do we have P? I thought we did. We do. I, S-T-I-N, we don't have an R, T-I blank. I think we have enough letters to figure this word out, so distinct, C-T-I-V-E, distinctive. So R is a C, and the J is going to be a V. Here that is. M we don't have, T we don't have, I we don't have, E is going to be R. We'll come back to that. He blank, G, P is an I, A we don't have, N is H, and Q is T. V is L, R we do have, C, T, and E is going to be R. So the only word that I think this could be is lecture. So I is going to be U. And some of these that we missed out earlier are gonna fill in pretty quick. S, no S's. W is no, and I is a U. Who is he going to lecture? U. So S is a Y. M, no M's yet, but the W is an O, and E is an R. Lecture U 4. M is the F, okay. No T's yet, we do have a C. And then H-O-U-R, he would lecture you for an hour, and that T is going to be an N. Okay, so let's go back, because I think we can fill in some of these now. Don't A-S-K, ask. So that D is going to be a K. Still no B, but A. A-L. We don't have that. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you his name yet, but some of you will be able to figure this out. Okay, A, U, that B has got to be itself. So remember, I do allow one letter to be itself in each of these puzzles. So don't ask Baron blank about his distinctive, V-A-T-U, so distinctive feature, and that coincides with the previous puzzle. We don't have that yet, do we? No, we don't. For an hour, about T is going to be A, B is a B, O-U-T, about O, and then K, do we have? How? P is going to be I, C is N, I is U, V is L, T, I, N, and G. So that A is going to be a G. I think that's the only letter there. So that's I-N-G, insulting. It is to T, A, what is V? L, K is W, A, Y, S, always. B, A, N, S, W, E, R, I, N, G. Answering U, E, S, T, I, O, N, S. So that X has to be a Q for questions. And I used about in this quite a bit, huh? About it. Don't ask. Well, we have the G, and I think we can call that an M at this point. That's an easy guess. And then almond. So don't ask Baron Almond about his distinctive feature. He might lecture you for an hour about how insulting it is to always be answering questions about it. All right, let's go on to the next part. So, O-N, yep, on the other, H-A-N-D, on the other hand, any one, we do have the K, with 9, F-I-N-G, 9 fingers, wants to tell, let's see, S is U, Y, Y-O-U, you the story behind it. Okay, so we have kind of 2 clues here. So 1, don't ask Baron about his distinctive feature. He might lecture you for an hour about how insulting it is to always be answering questions about it. So the clue there is that Baron Almond is a buyer because he is a person with a distinctive feature. And then the other clue is, on the other hand, anyone with 9 fingers wants to tell you the story behind it. So that is also establishing one of the distinctive features. It's also good to note that the Baron does not want to talk about his feature, but the person with 9 fingers does. So they cannot be the same person. So let me get my mouse over here. Let me scroll down to the grid. And okay, let me make sure you can see what we're doing here. So buyers. I'm going to start on the top here. So I'm going to just write almond, M-O-N-D, and then a feature is 9 fingers. And then, so the sellers in painting, they only have one. So the painting is only on the top row, and the sellers are only in the column, or I don't know how to say that. Doesn't matter. So paintings are here, sellers are here. They're the only ones that show up just once. The buyers, so it's going to be kind of the opposite of where this is. So buyers is going to be the second one down, so you need to write these twice. Almond, and then the features, 9 fingers. Gosh, I can't even read that. Let me try this again. F-I-N-G-E-R-S. Sorry, it is difficult to write with this tablet thing. Although my writing has never been immaculate. But all right. Okay, so yeah, these are kind of reverse. So buyers are at the end here, but then at the top here on the side. So Baron Almond does not have 9 fingers. He has all 10 of his fingers, I assume. Yeah, that's the one place we can mark that. And yeah, next time I think we're going to find out, what are we going to find out about? So we found out about the sellers and their outfits. We found out about the buyers and their distinctive features. I think next we talk about the locations, and we'll see if, I don't recall if the clue is the explanation and the clue is wrapped into one, But yeah, again, we're still at the very beginning of the book, so a lot of the clues need a little bit of explanation to get started, and then once we get rolling, the clues are just gonna stand for themselves. So, anyways, like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and if you still haven't bought the Count's Gala, it's available on Amazon right now, and yeah, so go ahead and pick that up. Thanks.